Alrighty, this video is for the guys, and I've talked before about how a man needs to approach a woman by giving, either emotionally giving so that she feels safe, not emotionally giving as playing or player or throwing out words, like really or actually giving through their actions consistently over time, so that she gradually becomes open and receptive to him, which can take weeks. It's not just about talking a good game or having money. Like I said, give her an emotionally fulfilling relationship or blind her with your money. So the question now comes up for the men. How does a man know that he is not throwing away this emotional giving or his money on some woman who's playing him? Because let's be real, there are a lot of bitches out there. There are a lot of angry, volatile women, and there are women with masks who treat you real nice, but they have borderline personality disorder, or depression, or bipolar, or mental health disorders, or they're alcoholics, or they have drama, or they're playing you. They will accept your gifts of dinner, thinking, well, I'm not interested in this guy, but he wants to take me out, I'll let him. And they're not going to speak up because they're not really authentic either. So this is how you avoid getting played. And I'm going to remember back to a gentleman who left a comment on this, because I think the best people to give advice on this are men who used to get played and figured out how not to get played. Just like I figured out how to not get used for sex, or how to not get used for giving a man emotional validation. So now I'm like, I gotta feel like you're giving me something. So I think a lot of men start out not understanding women and how to get them, and they also may start out thinking the way to get a woman is to be a people pleaser. So the first thing is to just be honest with yourself if you're simping or people pleasing, and this is very common among men. You have a lot of men who are entitled and grandiose and lead women on, and you have just as many men who are simping and people pleasing. All right. So if you're, I think men fall equally into both camps. Not that many are healthy in the middle. So if you're not sure how to tell if a woman is interested in you, you're probably a people pleaser, because once you are not a people pleaser, you will automatically tell how you feel around a woman, and you learn to trust your feelings. So right now I'm working with a therapist who's helping me with that, and it's been so, I don't know if anybody's noticed that my videos have changed a little bit. I feel like I've become much more in touch with my feelings and trusting my feelings rather than what I should do, which is all in the head. And people pleasing is either in the head what I should do, or it's a grasping for attention. If I take you out, then you will like me. So it's manipulative, it's not authentic. So here's a tip. If you are a people pleaser, and nothing wrong with that, I think like at least a third or 40% of the population is. I have a little bit of people pleaser in me that I'm going to work on in my next session with her, because I saw that growing up and I was forced to people please with my parents. So just be honest with yourself. There's a book, there's an author, Robert Glover, and he has YouTube videos. And he wrote a book called No More Mr. Nice Guy. Because a nice guy isn't nice, he is manipulative. And that is creepy. It's not authentic. It's, I'm going to be nice to you, hoping to get something, rather than just being direct. So number one, recognize if you're a people pleaser. Get the book, and ideally work with a therapist that is going to help you get in touch with your own feelings and your needs. And check out Robert Glover on YouTube. He was very simpy. Now it's interesting, the thumbnail on his videos, he looks like a people-pleasing simp, which to me, I'm very repulsed by people-pleasing men. But now, so I hope he changes his thumbnail, but when he makes the videos, he looks very masculine, so he's done the inner work. People pleasers usually are men who grew up in homes where the parents were very critical. They had to learn to please their parents so they wouldn't get punished. And that was very smart of you as a child, but it doesn't serve you as an adult. So it's just recognizing that, changing the pattern. No more Mr. Nice Guy or therapy. Number two, when you're not a people pleaser, you can be authentic. So you want to divide the wheat from the chaff in the get-go. You want to tell the woman that you are interested in dating her. See, the people pleasers are afraid of saying that. They're just silently just giving her attention or taking her out hoping for something. But you want to be direct. Hey, can I take you on a date? I'd like to take you on a date. Use the word date. Just own that you want to date her. I'm very attracted to you. Own your attraction. Own that you want to date her. And when you take her out, stand close to her and see how she responds. If she pulls away, she's either not interested in you, so move along, or she could have gone through some sexual abuse and is very damaged. Now, here's the thing. A lot of guys are rescuers or heroes, and they're attracted to damsels in distress. I have a family member like that. If you're attracted to damsels in distress, run to a therapist, because if you don't run to a therapist, you're going to end up in divorce court and it's going to cost you a lot more money. There are a lot of very broken women out there. Once you learn to trust your body and your feelings, you're going to know whether a woman's interested in you. You're going to feel comfortable owning your interest, and you're going to be able to tell if she's interested in you. Number three is to be vulnerable. Let her know you're interested. Ask her out on dates, and touch her on the shoulder, the lower back. See how she responds. And notice how she responds to you. Notice how you feel. Do you feel that she's interested in you? And this is where you have to do the work, because if you're a people pleaser, the people pleasers are so used to reading everyone else's emotions and feeding off of that, they don't even know how they feel. But your best feedback is how you feel. Because if she's interested in you and you notice her interest, you're going to notice if she gets back to you right away or not. You're going to start feeling that she's avoiding you, or that you're going to feel that she's pulling away. You've got to honor that. You're going to feel whether she is engaged with you, responding to you. You're going to notice if her face lights up when you talk, whether she really listens and asks you questions. You're going to feel her interest rather than her wanting it to be all about her and using you for validation. You're going to start feeling that. So in short, three things. Notice people pleasers have trouble knowing if someone is interested in them. They also are afraid to just say I want to ask you on a date. So they're manipulative. So just stop being a people pleaser. Let a woman know you're interested. Notice how she responds to you. Those are really all the tips I have. One thing I always tell guys, another thing that really helps with your confidence, because we are a physical being, is to get into the gym and lift heavy shit. It builds testosterone and it builds confidence and it boosts your mood. And it makes, like, after I'm done working out, I'm so much more bolder and empowered and stronger. I feel my mood has boosted. It's not about taking medications or coffee. It's the workout. It'll build your testosterone, your confidence. And women are attracted to stronger men. I think just having some strong shoulders and being able to walk upright just makes you feel strong and protective. I think those are some good clues. And I would say notice when you start being manipulative, like if I pay her things, she'll like me, or I think I should pay so she'll like me. Only pay if you want to pay. If you don't want to pay, she's not the right woman for you. Because I think when the man meets the right woman for him, he's going to automatically feel like, I want to pay for her. And I think that when a man is healthy and in touch with himself, he will require a woman to be kind, respectful, appreciative, responsive, sweet, able to communicate, not be volatile, not go off on him, be able to regulate her emotions. And if a woman gives you any red flags, you have to be able to run and move along to someone else, because the truth of it is, men are not that picky. So if that woman isn't interested in you, go find another woman. This is what I picked up from listening to guys and my own stuff, but I think of most value will be what other men have to offer. And fortunately, we have some very, very wise, experienced, powerful men who leave comments on this channel, or who happen to drop, who are on YouTube and happen to come across this channel. And I would, really appreciate if we can leave a lot of feedback here to help out the guys who have that question. How do I know that I'm investing in a woman who isn't just using me? Because a lot of women will, and some of these, and there are women who are just psycho. You guys got to weed out those psycho women, because some of them can be very sexual, they can be very beautiful, but if they have borderline personality disorder or a drinking problem, it's going to make your life very, very miserable. Same goes for us ladies looking for men. We have to cut people with mental health issues out, in my opinion. They need to go get therapy before they want to be with someone like me, or because some of them can't be saved. They don't want to be saved. So it's a very, very miserable life to be in a relationship with someone with mental health issues. I've seen it many, many times. You might as well pick someone who's healthy, So that's just another tip I wanted to throw in there. A lot of people are not willing to run because they haven't done the inner work to be attracted to healthy people. They want to change someone, or they want to rescue someone, or they think that I can't leave this person because they have problems. I'm responsible for saving them, or I can't leave someone just because they're struggling, or, there's virtue in suffering. There's virtue in my suffering. Every adult is responsible for themselves, and there is therapy and books and YouTube videos available for everyone. And if you are choosing to get into a relationship with someone who abuses you, doesn't value you, isn't responsive to you, isn't excited to be with you, retaliates, can't handle their feelings, you're just choosing, just be aware that you're choosing a miserable, miserable life. And one thing I really, really believe and make videos about is that my best life is when I'm alone, and if you want to be in it, you have to add to it. And so many people would make it worse by dragging us down. So I think we have to be kind and receptive, but also selective in the people we let in. And that's why I make videos about how we screen out men and how we screen out women. So when you are pursuing a woman, look for things. Does she drink too much? How does she treat the waitress? Does she treat her as an object, or does she actually treat other people as valuable? How does she get along with her family? What was her childhood like? It's okay if she doesn't talk with her parents, but has she resolved her anger against them? Can she handle her alcohol? Or maybe she doesn't drink. What does she do when she's angry with you? Does she stuff it down and is silently resentful, or will she tell you how she feels? If you value a woman who is into fitness and health and doesn't gain a bunch of weight after the baby's born, get a woman who's into fitness and health. Else, don't be surprised if she gains a bunch of weight. Do you want a woman who works, or do you want to be the breadwinner? You can screen out too. Just start noticing attributes about that woman. Is she friends with other women? Does she do a lot of validation seeking for her body on Instagram and need attention from other men, or can she give herself attention? What happens if you disagree with her? Is she going to go off on you, or can she handle it? You want to look at for all that in a woman. A woman who is emotionally healthy can really make your life so much better. Do you like a woman who cooks? Does she like to cook? Um, do you like listening to her talk? Do you like her voice? Or are you just tolerating her, hoping to get some sex? Just start noticing what you want and how you feel. And that will give you a really great signal of whether this woman is right for you. Um, how do you feel in your body around her? Do you feel, and if you feel like, notice if she's an attraction of desperation or an attraction of inspiration. Um, there are just a lot of wounded people walking around. But I think if those of you who are younger have a really good chance still of meeting a healthy woman. I think that the healthy people usually get married by their late 20s, early 30s. And so I really am recommending now to people that they find out if they want to get married, to do that in your 20s or early 30s, because after that the pickings get really slim. And there is a lot of dysfunction out there, and a lot of people who don't want to work on their stuff, and they're running around in the single sphere, and they can make your life absolutely miserable. They can ruin your finances, they can ruin your mental health. And being in a relationship with someone who's traumatizing, it can take years to recover from that trauma, and that emotional stuff that you had to deal with. And being in an unhappy relationship causes people to check out and deal with that unhappiness in many ways, with an affair, with drinking, in my case, a Vicodin addiction, maybe with shopping, and you're just living in a state of stress and cortisol. So I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but I think the main thing is to notice how you feel around that woman, and to be authentic and to own your sexual desire. A lot of men, if you're not comfortable with your sexual desire, you think, well, if I'm just a friend, she'll desire me. No. You got to bring your dick with you and own your sexual interest. I find you attractive. On the date, damn girl, you look good. You look great in that dress. Wow. You got to let her know. You got to own your sexual interest. You got to own yourself. And if you have trouble with that, you will get played, because you will attract women who are looking for simps and people pleasers. And the women who are abusive and borderline personality disorder, they need a man who's a simp or a people pleaser. So the only way that you will read their signals, you won't read them as long as you're a people pleaser. You won't even know that they're a red flag. I can pick them up like that. But you won't pick up on the signs if you're not in touch with your own needs, wants, and desires, and your own masculinity. So I really think a couple sessions with a therapist are really good for everyone, to help us like really own, like, what do I need, what do I want, and really own it and claim it, and get really embodied and feel safe in our own bodies. We have to be able to feel safe in our own bodies and listen to the feelings that our body's telling us about the person. So I just kind of gave you that thing about the people pleasing and stating what you really want and being authentic. And then the women who don't like it, they'll immediately make that known. And then if you don't like something, you'll pick up on it rather than overlooking it. Because as long as people are people pleasers, they don't pick up on the red flags. In fact, they find the red flags attractive. And I'm like, why would you like that about that person? Oh, I love that about that person. And then 2 years later, come to find out this person is psycho. But the things that made me realize they're psycho, this guy thought were attractive. So the only way to avoid all that, I think, is to really listen to our body and trust our feelings. Yeah, you don't want to get played. Don't use your money to get women unless you're specifically paying for a prostitute. A woman should want to be with you even if you aren't paying. Like me, I would go out with a guy that I really like, not because he's paying, but because I like his company. So, but if I don't like his company, he needs to pay, pay for something. But now I digress. I hope this was helpful. I hope some of the guys will tune in. I'm just a 61-year-old grandma, you know, just trying to figure out this new world I emerged in after my divorce of we don't need men. And um, my brother is a simp. He uses money to get women because he doesn't, I don't know, he has mommy issues. I shouldn't bring my family into it. Now I digress. But I'm just bringing that in because I have seen firsthand men get played and I fucking hate it. So I don't want to see you guys get played either. And thank you for watching my video.